Everyone, my name is Amy Thomas, and I am doing my behavior change project with an 18 or not 18, 8-year-old boy, with the goal to reduce his scripting behavior so that he can participate more socially with his peers and to be able to hold more functional conversations. One of the articles that I use for our learning activity 3 that I plan on using in my own project is an article that's called Assessing and Treating Vocal Stereotypy in Children with Autism. It was created by uh, William Ahern, Kathy Clark, and Rebecca McDonald. Um, the purpose of their goal that they had seen a trend in with these kind of stereotypic behaviors with children with autism is that the function more than likely is sensory based. So, whenever the children engage in these vocal stereotypic behaviors, the function is more than likely automatic reinforcement. So, they wanted to look at the possibility if this vocal stereotypy or scripting um, could be redirected and interrupted and turned into something functional. So, what they did is they had 4 participants, and with those 4 participants, they first started off with a functional analysis to determine the function of it. Because the function, whenever they did like the alone setting and whatnot, it was determined that all 4 kids had an automatic reinforcement function. No other functions were found with that. And it was pretty much maintained all by sensory needs. So what they did is they decided that they we're going to implement an ABAB design, which is what I'm using for my project as well. And what they were doing is a response interruption and response redirection. So they wanted to see if if the scripting could be redirected. So what would happen is the teachers, every kid had their own teachers, so there were 4 teachers total, and the researchers provided them with training beforehand to keep that fidelity across the 4 with the 4 kiddos too. So while they were doing academic tasks, if the child was engaging in any kind of vocal stereotypic behavior, such as scripting, the teacher would go and give them vocal demands. So they would ask them a question or have them, kind of say any kind of like a echoic kind of thing. For it to be successful, the child had to reply correctly to those vocal demands for 3 times in a row without going out of without going back into a script. So if they did it for the 3 times in a row, then the teacher would stop and they would continue. Um, it the results for excuse me, the results for the study showed that there was a really great increase in the functional communication and appropriate communication in the natural environment for these kids. And it was also discovered that the the reduction of the vocal stereotypic behavior decreased because of that. They also did a follow up, and they noticed that even after the follow up, after the study had ended, that there was still a positive impact on the environment with appropriate communication. Um, they do. They did notice though that if the response interruption and redirection was not used, that the vocal stereotypic behavior increased, but they noticed that more at the beginning of the study. So at the end of the study, they did notice just an overall impact. There was some limitations whenever so with the ABAB design, you have the 2 baselines. Whenever they returned to the baseline for the second time, it was it was briefer than what they had anticipated. Um, they they noticed that they just needed to get right back into it. So that was brief. They wanted to extend that. Also, since it was a pretty intense intervention, the resources were limited. So they'd like to be able to have more resources, more ability to train more teachers, and whatnot. Also, across environments, so across programming and natural environment, they use different data collections, and that was a limitation for them. Just for IOA purposes, they for next time they would like to see the same data collection used across both environments, but they noted that it didn't make an impact in the data itself, so it wasn't that big of a limitation, but it was still a limitation um, that they noticed. I am excited to finish up this project. Um, I am very impressed with the results that I've seen so far. But best of luck to everybody else as we're edging up on the end of the semester. Good luck.